Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, Aditya. All right, so shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you all gone through that derivative part,
Yes, sir.
equations of motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. So have you all understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So our next point is uniform circular motion. Okay. So we have seen the derivative part, how we have derived these equations of motion in a graphical way or through graphical method. Now our next concept is uniform circular motion. Now we all are familiar with the circular motion, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is circular motion? Yes, what is circular motion? Simple, the motion along the circular path, or the motion along the circumference of the circle. That is what we call circular motion. Now, what is uniform circular motion? What do you think? Uniform circular motion. To understand uniform circular motion, we have given this one question. See, observe the tip of second hand of a clock. What can you say about its velocity and speed? What do you think? That second clock, even minute clock, even that, yeah, our clock also performs the same kind of motion. All the three hands of clock performs a circular motion, right? Rather rotational motion it is, because it is rotating around that axis, right? Axis of rotation. So
Yes.
these hands are performing a rotational motion, but the tip of the hand, if you observe it carefully, then it covers a certain distance. Yeah, it makes a short displacement in an equal interval of time, right? It displaces by equal amount in equal interval of time. So it performs a
Yes.
uniform circular motion. Okay. But in case of circular motion, if you have seen carefully, then the direction of that, it keeps on changing continuously, right? It keeps on changing continuously. And as we have studied earlier, this change in direction and change in speed causes the change, or yes, causes the change in velocity of an object. We already have studied about that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So ultimately, change in direction of the clock hand will also affect to the velocity. So that means since velocity is changing, that means those hands must be having some accelerated motion. Okay, but that acceleration should be again uniform acceleration, since they are covering a, or moving with a constant speed or constant velocity. That change is constant. Change in velocity is constant. Okay, so let's go through the content in a quick time. Let's see. Yeah. So the speed of the tip is constant, but the direction of its displacement and therefore its velocity is constantly changing. As the tip moving along the circular path, its motion is called uniform circular motion. Now, can you give more example of such motion, like clock hand? Where can you observe such kind of motion? Uniform circular motion.
Sir,
Where can
giant
we
wheel.
observe this? Giant
Merry-go-round.
wheel, very good. Yes.
Merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round. There also. Yes, yes. Merry-go-round. Where you can observe this uniform circular motion. But can you tell me, is the speed or velocity of giant wheel and that merry-go-round, will it remain same? Will it remain constant,
No.
or it keeps
No.
on,
No.
It keeps on changing.
changing, right? So there you cannot observe the uniform circular motion. Yeah, for a certain time interval, you can observe the uniform circular motion, but it is not. क्या बोल सकते हैं हम, वो कंटिन्यू नहीं रह सकता यूनिफॉर्म मोशन में. Its velocity will change, either increases or decreases accordingly. It depends on again the force that we have applied. Okay, giant wheel we used to stop. Yeah, it runs on the electricity, as all we know. So once the electricity shuts off, it stops moving. So which again causes the change in velocity, right? So uniform circular motion can be observed for a certain time interval in such cases of merry-go-round and giant wheel. Another thing, yeah, there is another example given. See, the coin and the disc. This circular disc you must have seen. Okay, or In Marathi we used to call it as a bohra. Bohra सगळ्यांनी बघितलाय, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We used to spin it and it keeps on spinning or rotating about its axis for a certain time interval. So for a certain period of time, it can we can observe the uniform circular motion over there. Okay, so in that case, yeah. Okay. Now, yeah. See, there is a basic definition given over here of uniform circular motion. So when an object is moving with a constant speed along the circular path, the change in velocity is only due to change in direction. The change in velocity is only due to the change in direction, as we have studied earlier. Change in direction as well as change in speed both affect to the velocity of an object. Now here the speed remains constant, but the direction is keeps on changing as the object is moving along the circular path. So its direction changes continuously. So that change in direction causes the change in velocity. Okay. So hence, and as all we know, if there is change in velocity, that means object is having accelerated motion, and thus it is mentioned it is accelerated motion. Okay, so when an object moves with constant speed along the circular path, the motion is said to be uniform circular motion. For example, the motion of a stone in a sling or that of any point on a bicycle wheel, okay, when they are in uniform motion. Yeah, suppose you got a stone and you got a thread. Now you have tied that stone at one end, and now you are whirling around. You are whirling around. What do you observe? Again, that stone performs a circular motion. Let me elaborate this in a paint window. Okay, so suppose the situation is like this. So we are now talking about uniform circular motion. Okay, so when an object moving along the circular path, moving along the circular path with a constant speed, with a constant speed, then it is said to have uniform circular motion. Okay. Example: suppose you got a thread and you got a stone. Now, at one end you have tied that stone in such a way, okay, like this, and now you are whirling it around. You are whirling it around. Okay, in any particular direction. Suppose you are whirling it in this particular direction. Okay, you are whirling it in this particular direction. Right? So as you continue applying force to this stone, okay, if you keep on whirling it, then you will find or you will observe the uniform circular motion. But as soon as you stop whirling it, what will happen? Will it stop suddenly? No, it will continue in that circular path, and as its acceleration slow down, it stops and it will fall down. Right? Are you all getting
Yes.
my point? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So for a certain time, it will perform uniform circular motion, where you can observe the speed is constant. Speed is constant. Okay, but the velocity keeps on changing in a equal amount in an equal interval of time. Okay, so that uniform change in velocity causes uniform acceleration. Okay, causes uniform acceleration as we have studied earlier. So this is very simple and easy concept of uniform circular motion. Now we just need to know how to find the direction of that object. Where will it move if suppose suddenly the force acting on that object vanishes? Okay, suppose if you release the stone, then where will it go? That direction we need to find. That direction we need to find. Okay, so how to find the direction? There is one technique and there is one general thing that help us to understand the direction of the object which is whirling around or which is moving in a circular path. So what is that? Let me tell you what is that. Okay, just a moment. All right. So suppose if I release this stone, then it will move in the direction which is tangential. That means like this. In this particular direction, it will move if I release the stone. Okay. Suppose this stone is somewhere here. Suppose this stone is somewhere here. Again, it will move in a tangential. If I draw tangent to this point, then its direction must be somewhere here. If suppose that some stone is somewhere here, then its direction must be again tangential, so it will move in this particular direction. Okay, if suppose that stone is somewhere here, where will it move? Again in a tangential direction, that is somewhere here. So that means when any object performs uniform, not a uniform one, but a circular motion, then its direction is always tangential to any point on the circular path. It is always tangential at any point on the circle. Okay, you can select any of the point to find its direction. Draw a tangent. Draw a tangent. Okay, that means a perpendicular. You can see this. It is a perpendicular and it is a tangent. Yeah. So direction is always tangential. Are you all getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mathematical way you will study in detail in higher grade, but for now you just need to remember direction of an object which is performing circular motion is always tangential. Okay, so we'll make a note. We'll make a note and we'll write very important note. Note that note the direction of an object direction of an object performing performing circular motion circular motion is always is always tangential is always tangential at every point along the circle or circular path along the circular path. Are you all following meaning of this?
Sir.
Okay, as I have shown here, it is the object. यहाँ पे आपका object है. Suppose it comes here after certain time interval, and suppose at this point if I release the stone, where will it move? It will move in this direction. It will move in this direction. Getting it? If suppose that stone is somewhere here, it reaches at this point. and if I release it, suppose if I release it, गोफण असते आपल्याकडे माहिती आहे, गोफणच म्हणतात ना त्याला,
Yes, sir.
शेतात आपण वापर, या. सो गोफण कन्सिडर
Yes.
करा, त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही एक स्टोन असा टाय करून ठेवलाय आणि तो रिलीज केला, तर तो कुठच्या डायरेक्शन मध्ये जाणार आहे, तर त्या टँजेन्शियल डायरेक्ट मध्ये त्या along that direction it will move. Okay, getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all right. All right. Okay, so now let's move further. Let's see what is the next point. Yeah, so accordingly, speed of that object is given over here. So the speed can be written as displaced speed is given as a distance upon time, but here the total distance covered is nothing but circumference of the circle, since the object is moving along the circular path. So the total distance is equivalent to the circumference. So accordingly, speed can be written as twice pi r upon t, where r is the radius, because the movement of an object is along the radius of the circle. Okay, so that's why speed can be written as in this form. Okay, yeah, so you are asking to find the more examples of circular motion in our day-to-day life. So you can just think over it and can find the examples of circular motion. Okay, and during next session come up with your answer. Now next, determining the direction of the velocity in the uniform circular motion. That's what we have discussed. Now let us try to understand these solved examples. Okay, let us try to understand the solved example. So we take this first one. See what is given. We'll take snapshot and we'll get into the paint window. So let's take this into the paint window and we'll try to solve it. Okay, so let's delete this part. Have you all taken this screenshot? Shall I
Yes,
rub
sir.
this? Now let's take
Yes,
that
sir.
example. See what is given. An athlete is running on a circular track. Okay. He runs a distance of 400 meters in 25 seconds before returning to his original position. Then what is his average speed and velocity? Yeah, now we need to concentrate on this part. An athlete is running on a circular track. So the path is circular. How much distance he covered? He covered a distance of 400 meters within 25 seconds before returning to his original position. That means his total displacement comes out to be 0, since it reaches to his original position. So the total displacement should be 0, but the total distance covered by him is 400 meters, and time taken to cover that distance is 25 seconds. So let's first figure out the given thing. So given, what is given? Distance covered. So the total distance is 400 meter. Time t is equals to 25 seconds. And you are asking to find what average speed. What is the average speed and average velocity? Average speed and average velocity you are asking to find. Okay, so how to find this? We'll write total displacement. Total displacement, that is S, should be equal to 0, as an athlete returning to his original position. So the total displacement should be 0. So as per the standard definition of speed, we can write speed is equals to distance covered per unit time. Okay, distance covered per unit time. All right. So the average speed can be written
Yes,
as
sir.
total distance covered per unit time. So average speed is equal to total distance covered per unit time. So the total distance covered is 400 meter in 25 seconds. So how much will it be? 400 divided by 25. Yes, how much is that?
MS.
16.
Yeah, it is 16 meter per second. So the average speed of an athlete is 16 meter per second. And what about average velocity? What is the definition of velocity?
Rate of change of
Rate of
displacement.
displacement, right? So accordingly, we can write average velocity. Average velocity
Displacement upon time.
is equal to total displacement upon time. Is equal to total displacement upon time. But what about displacement? Total displacement is about 0. So
0.
0 over 25 seconds, which comes out to be equal to 0. So the velocity is 0. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now next example. Let's take another one. Let's take another one. Yeah.
Sir, how you take that zero?
Yes.
How you take that zero?
Displacement.
Yes.
Yeah, displacement is 0 because as per the given situation, an athlete is returning to his original position. No. So he is running on a circular track like this. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Suppose that athlete starts from somewhere here. That circular track is about 400 meters. That circular track is about 400 meters. Okay. So an athlete starts from here in any possible direction. Suppose he moves along this direction. So again he come back to his original position. No, he moves along this direction, again come back to his original position. So total displacement कितना हुआ? Suppose the half distance is
Zero.
200 meters. Suppose the half distance is 200 meter. So while moving along this direction, he displaces by an amount 200 meter, and while coming back, he moves or he displaces by same amount but in opposite direction. So the total displacement comes out to be 0. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that direction plays an important role over here. All right. Our next example. Let's try to solve this one. Yeah, see what is given. An aeroplane taxis on the runway for 30 seconds. with an acceleration of 3.2 meter per second square. There is a point 3.2 meter per second square before taking off. Before taking off. Then how much distance would it have covered on the runway? Now see, an aeroplane taxi. An aeroplane taxi. What does it mean? You must have seen the runway, right? Suppose this is the runway. Yeah. While taking off, aeroplane makes a movement along the surface, along the ground for a certain short period, right? It never takes off. Suppose aeroplane is somewhere here and it directly takes off. Have you ever seen that?
No.
No. Yeah, before it takes off. Yeah, so the situation is something like this. Let me explain. Situation is something like this. Yeah, situation is something like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for a certain period of time, it moves along the ground surface. It moves along the ground surface, and slowly and gradually it starts taking off. So ये जो movement है, movement along the ground surface is what we called as taxiing. Is what we called as taxiing. वो taxiing कितने देर तक कर रहा है? It is taxiing on the runway for 30 seconds with an
30
acceleration of
seconds.
3.2 meter per second square. With an acceleration of 3.2 meter per second square before taking off. Then how much distance would it have covered on the runway? So this distance you are asking to find. This distance you are asking to find before it takes off. ओके ये जो डिस्टेंस है वो आपको फाइंड आउट करना है. कैसे फाइंड आउट करोगे? आपको टाइम दिया गया है 30 सेकंड के लिए वो टैक्सिंग कर रहा है. So the given things are, yeah, aeroplane taxiing on the runway for 30 seconds. So time is given 30 seconds. All right. What else given? Acceleration is given. A is equal to 3.2 meter per second square. And you are asking to find what? You are asking to find ACE. That is the total distance covered, total displacement along the ground surface. So how can we find this? How can we find this? Yes. Yeah, see, S is the displacement, so we have velocity equation for velocity where we can put this S by T. This is what we have. Another equation related to the S, that is V square, or before that we have this equation S is equal to ut plus 1 half at square, right? The second equation of motion that we have with us to find the total displacement. And another third equation we have, that is v square is equal to u square plus twice as, so that we can rearrange this for s that we need to find. Okay, but again we are not familiar with this initial velocity and final velocity, so we can't use this one. In a similar way, we can't use this one because we don't know about the velocity. Okay, because velocities are not given. But here we know about the u, that is initial velocity. Initial velocity is 0. Okay, initial velocity must be 0 because an aeroplane was at rest initially.
Yes.
Okay. So we can use this second equation of motion to find the total distance, right, covered by an aeroplane. So by using this equation of motion, what we can write, S is equal to ut plus 1 half at square. Ut plus 1 half at square. Now as u is equal to 0, the first term will get vanished. So only we have 1 half at square. So S is equal to 1 half at square, right? So now by putting the values, we'll get 1 half into acceleration is about 3.2 meter per second square. So 3.2 into 3.2 into t square, that is 30 bracket square. 30 bracket square. So find out the value of this one. How much will it be? How much will it be? So let's try to find. So 1 half means 0.5. So otherwise let's write this. So it is 32 into 10 raised to minus 1 and 30 square, which is equal to 30 square. How much is that? It is 900, right? 30 square, so it is 900. So it can also be written as 9 into 10 raised to 2. Check if it is correct or not. And whole divided by 2, we can write whole divided by 2. Check if it is correct or not. Are you all following this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's simplify it further. So how much will it be? 32 divided by 2, so it is 16. 16 into 9 into 10 raised to 1, so it is 90. Yeah, 60 into 90. How much will it be? So it will be 1440 meters. Check. Are you all following this?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
ये सिंप्लीफिकेशन समझ में आया है सब यहाँ से?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the distance covered by an aeroplane would be 1440 meters before it takes off. That's it. Okay, so for now we'll stop here. जो सॉल्व एग्जाम्पल्स है वो समझने की कोशिश करो and during next session we will start with our Newton's laws of motion, which are again going to be very easy and very interesting. So for now we'll stop here. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, goodbye and take care.
Bye, sir.